Finally, after 6 years of video production, I broke my first piece of equipment. I know it sounds crazy that it's taken me 6 years to break something, but I really haven't broken anything of importance. Like, I'm very, very careful with my equipment. I spend a lot of time and money and energy investing into it, so I've always been careful. But this time, something happened that was kind of inevitable. You see, I've been trying to get into the 360 photography space, and the quickest and cheapest way in was the Insta360 One R. This camera is amazing. It is small, compact. It's like the size of a GoPro. It's affordable. This whole kit was just under $500, hard to beat, and it gives you a pretty good image quality for 360 photography. Now, I've worked with the $5,000 Insta360 camera. It's a lot better, but it's $5,000, so it should be. But I'm not anywhere close to investing in that camera yet. But this camera is great. I love it. It has served me well. It gives me some really cool 360 video for certain projects, which has been really cool to use. It's such a unique perspective. And then again, it's allowing me to get into the game of 360 photography and virtual tours in a very affordable way. The problem that I run into is the stand that it comes with. These things break out and it creates a little tripod, but it's not very sturdy. It's very wobbly. Not a fan. However, in a pinch, it's an easy way to go. The selfie stick screws in to the tripod mount and the camera screws onto the selfie stick. Simple as that, really easy to travel with. So this past week, I had to run over to a client's location and get some new exterior shots with the pretty fall colors in order to launch their virtual tour the next week. So I took this trusty camera over, and it was a little bit windy that day. This thing is not super steady, and it blew over and fell and broke the lens. Now, if you look at these lenses, you can clearly see how much they protrude from the body of the camera. They stick out pretty far. And you see when I turn, you see those scratches on the edge right there. That is essentially what broke. If these fall on anything other than pillows, those lenses are more than likely going to break. I knew it was a possibility, but I was trying to get the shot, and so I took my chances in between the wind, and unfortunately, a big gust came through, knocked it over, and broke it. The problem is I had like 4 or 5 more shots left to get that day, and I had to get them. So I angled the broken portion towards the sun a little bit more. Even though this does HDR photo, that part typically gets blown out a little bit, and these chips that are on the lens aren't quite as visible in that part of the shot. But on top of that, I still had to hold the camera steady. And a smart person would have gotten sandbags or just put it on a different stand. Not me. In the moment, in the heat of the moment, I'm really dumb. So I decided to sit on the ground, cross my legs, put this in between my legs, and basically hug it while the picture is being taken. Not only did I look like a dingus, but I also had to edit myself out in all of those photos. Some photos were easier to edit than others, but eventually I got the job done. In the virtual tour, I can actually limit how far people look down towards their feet, and so I can kind of cut out the area that was edited and doesn't look quite as natural. So that's helpful, but that's what I had to do. I should have just used like sandbags. Would have been so much smarter. In fact, I will probably continue to use this because it's super easy to take along, and I'll just take along 2 giant sandbags and bag it down. It's easier to edit out sandbags than it is a person sitting on the ground with their legs crossed, huddled up. The unfortunate part of this situation is I have to buy a new lens. This camera itself came with the brains, it came with this module, and it came with another wide angle lens that's more like a GoPro style lens, and it came with a battery and with this housing. All of that together was about $480. To buy just this 360 module, just the 360 lens, is $200. I can just spend $200 and get another lens. It's still a good investment. On my blog that I do, thecreativeascent.com, I have one where I wrote about what to buy and when to buy it. And there's 3 things that I consider. The first thing I consider is what I have currently working? The answer to that is no, it's broken. The next thing I ask myself is it a long-term investment? I think it is. This is a part of my business that I want to grow, And if I can continue that growth for $200, then that's a good thing, because my hopes is that this virtual tour that I just produced will be worth me showing off and to other potential clients and building another side of my business that focuses on 360 photography. I just realized I left that light on in the back. I don't typically use lights, but there are some portions of the studio where the overhead lights don't do it very much justice, and so I just bounce a light off the wall just to give me a little bit of fill. Right now I'm using the light from the door, which is really cool. It's a nice frosted door, nice soft light. Anyways, back to what I was talking about. 1, is what I have working? Answer is no. 2, is it a good investment? Yes. 3, do I have the money? Yes. $200, I can swing that. It's no problem. It's tempting. The gear lover inside of me is like, just buy a whole new camera system. $500, no big deal. Now you have twice as much as what you had before, but I don't need it. $200, new lens. I get to continue what I'm doing, you know. In a pinch, this thing still kind of works. But yeah, if you're interested in 360 photography in any way, totally recommend Insta360 One R. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little bit different type of video than what I even planned on sharing on the channel. I mainly wanted to do business related stuff and behind the scenes. And so I guess this kind of fits in behind the scenes, but let me know what you think of this type of content and if you think I should do more of it in the future. In the meantime, definitely look into the Insta360 One R. It's a cool camera system. It's really versatile and could add another service to your production company that you can offer to clients, and that's always a plus. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.